to another episode of On the Block. I'm here with Don Kingley from ATB News and Ron Davis. We're going to start off right now talking about the Los Angeles Clippers, who've had some problems. They played the Toronto Raptors today, and Raptors had a big lead on them. And we thought that they were going to blow it, but they ended up holding on. Although the Raptors scored 8 points, counting them all, 8 points in the third quarter.
Wow, unbelievable.
And where do we start? Let's start with the Clippers right now and where their struggles are.
The Clippers, I mean, they're a mess. And I also heard that how the locker room got into some sort of argument after the game.
Oh, they have to run into an argument.
Two embarrassing losses.
They're frustrated, and it's starting to show now. I mean, they lost, I think, like 3 or 4 in a row now.
Yeah, and that Golden State loss was tough.
I mean,
we all thought that it might end.
This loss was tough. I mean, they're down 29 at the half.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they did come back and fight.
Yeah.
But still, they lost pretty bad.
In a bad fashion.
And they just seem like they didn't want to play today. Like, if you look at their body language and just the mental mistakes they were making, like, they were not in the game.
I feel like they were really deflated after the Golden State loss. But really and truly, everybody knew going into Golden State, and obviously the Clippers, they're competitors. So to them, they were like, oh, we have a legit chance here. Mm-hmm. But realistically, we all knew what was going to happen going in playing Golden State. We knew they were going to take that L. But what was really bad was the Raptors. The Raptors are a team who haven't really gotten it together yet. And they thought, I'm pretty sure the Clippers thought they had this game for sure.
You know, this would be a pick-me-up game. You know?
And it was not. It was a swift kick in the lower region, and it hurts. And to be honest with you, I feel like that team has too many Chiefs and not enough Indians. Meaning that there's too many guys who feel like I'm the man. You know what I mean? Or like I was the man on my team, or I was the man at some point in my life, and now I have to adjust here. And I feel like Doc is doing, I don't want to say a poor job, but like Doc doesn't seem to have a handle on the whole situation. It seems like the system's not working, and so what guys are doing now, is going for just doing whatever they can to score. Like Blake Griffin posting guys up 15 feet up in the basket. Like,
or he's just bringing it, he's bringing it up and just doing, whatever. Like,
whatever, exactly.
And it's like, you can't do that. I mean, on paper, they have probably the best.
Possibly
they should win
the best team.
They should win the
best team on paper. And that leads me to the question I was going to ask you guys. Do you guys feel like Doc Rivers has not lived up to the hype and the potential with this team? Because like you said, he has a title with the Boston Celtics, which we've talked a little before. It might be the best team in the last 15 years. Yeah. They won a lot of games that year. We could have coached that team. Maybe they would have won. Right? So it seems like he might be riding on the coattails of that. And now you look at the team. They bring in Lance Stevenson, Wes Johnson, Paul Pierce, Josh Smith. These are some big-time guys. And they really had no bench last year.
Yeah, and then you add Jamal Crawford on that bench, too. It's like, how is it not? I mean, I guess you can kind of see. I mean, all those names are all risk players.
I was just about to say, too many Chiefs, not enough Indians. These guys all want to run the show themselves, and they have to take that adjustment. All due respect to Paul Pierce, I guess. Whatever, but you can't teach
Paul Pierce.
He's there for the playoffs, probably.
Paul Pierce, he's the type of guy, what he can do.
I'm not even including Wes Johnson in there.
Wes Johnson hasn't done enough. I don't think he's done enough in his career to be considered as a player you can count on.
And
Stevenson, he's shown that he can be that player.
Yeah.
Josh Smith has shown that he can be that player.
He's also shown us that he can be the player who's going to chill at the three-point line.
Exactly. Exactly.
He's playing the 4 right now.
He's playing the 4. And Jamal Crawford, we all know he can light up like that.
And he's dropped off though too. He's not playing that well.
He's struggling. I mean, he had one game where he had like 30 plus points. I think it was 33 or something, like 37 or something like that. But
he's putting up some Terrence Ross clunkers in the back-to-back games though. Speaking of
that's
pretty to watch, man.
It's not.
And that's the thing, like you said, Jamal Crawford inconsistent. JJ Redick's been injured. He's a big part of that team. And if he's he did
all that time he's been missing, hey, might as well get some
work.
I don't really like the choice of the tattoo, but
each is their own.
Exactly. Right?
And DeAndre Johnson still can't hit DeAndre Jordan, still can't hit a free throw.
Oh god.
And that's the thing. You put in that kind of work.
Exactly, and it's like you get that much money. And it's like you would think. Try to work on something like that. Work on something that you're not good at. You know you can dunk. You know you can rebound. You can block.
Exactly.
You're athletic. That you already have. Work on something that
it's time to step up.
Yeah, that will add to your game. shooting free throws, like having some sort of back to the basket game.
Yeah.
You know, something. You know,
Even if he doesn't want to do the back to the basket,
Just
the thing I'm
being able
thinking
to
is,
get free throws.
look back at that Houston series. How embarrassing it was when the other team's fouling you 100 feet away from the net, and you're going to the line and you're being embarrassed in front of 20,000 people.
Like,
if that can't make you want to work on your game,
I will. Exactly.
Like,
it's a sure as hell wasn't that paycheck. That's
exactly.
for sure.
That's how I understand why players just can't just lock themselves in the gym and say, okay, I'm not coming out until I make like 100 free throws in a row.
Kind of like what Steph Curry does. Yeah. Steph Curry takes 100 3-pointers consistently.
Exactly.
If he misses one of those 3-pointers, he does it again until he gets 100.
Exactly.
Habitually.
You know,
That's
like,
why he's what he is.
why can't players who can't shoot free throws do that? Because I don't understand how, like, even some players who can shoot well at the 3-point line can't shoot free throws.
It blows my mind.
It must be a mental thing, I guess, right?
It has to be.
It has to be.
It has to be.
Definitely
Like,
does.
it has to be. Like, you look at a guy like Rajon Rondo.
Yeah.
He's a guard.
Yeah.
He shoots 50% from the line.
Yeah, like he's less than 50%.
I feel like that's definitely one of the Clippers' main issues, but I don't know. Like I can't put my finger on one thing that's making them fall apart. I remember before the season started when I saw what their roster looked like, and I was like, oh my goodness,
Wow.
this is a championship.
Yeah.
It's championship or bust for the Clippers. Like, they've assembled this team in a way to win a championship. This is not like, oh, okay, this is a 2-year.
It's not. Yeah, it's not building towards the next year.
This is winner
Championship or
and
bust.
it's not looking good. And man, we could see some changes to this team happening before All-Star weekend. Like,
Before All-Star, if it's still going the way that it's going right now.
and I don't want to put it on Doc either. Like,
I mean, part of it-
he's
part
to
of
blame.
it-
He
part of
is-
it,
he
he
has
is
the
to
whole team to
blame,
blame,
yeah.
but like I feel like it's not all him.
It's not because, like we said, the whole thing with coaching. What do the Clippers? When you think of the Clippers, what the first thing that comes to your mind? They dunk. They don't play defense.
No.
They can score the basketball, but you assume that they can with that much talent.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Once Doc was brought in, he's always been a defensive coach. Like that Boston team played defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have the horses to play defense.
Yeah.
Like DeAndre Jordan there, Chris Paul gets out. He's the first all defensive team.
I think they don't have enough guys, no nonsense type of guys.
Yeah.
They don't have enough of those
Yeah.
guys. The only guy they have there is probably Paul Pierce. Right?
Yeah.
And that team, they had Paul Pierce, they had Garnett, they had Posey.
Exactly.
They had some
Rondo
PJ
played
Brown.
good
They had
defense,
PJ Brown.
Leon Poe put in some minutes on
Leon
that.
Poe. They had, I mean, but those four veteran guys, those were like no nonsense kind of guys. They came from the old school, like, you know, like.
Whereas these guys that are added to their
These
team
guys
are nonsense.
Yeah,
guys.
they're
Like,
nonsense.
Lance Stevens
They're not.
started
They're,
with
they're
nonsense.
guys IQ not that high or focus level just not that high, and you can see it on the court. They don't play for 48 minutes.
No, I don't.
They don't. They
I mean,
play
like, Lance
for like.
Stevenson's chirping Steph Curry for missing a 3 while you're on the bench.
you're
You
on
haven't
the
set
bench.
foot in the game in a
Like,
while.
come on, man. Stephen Curry didn't even entertain that.
Exactly,
You
because
didn't
he's
even
like,
look at him like he was like, why are you
you're a
talking
fly on
to
the
me?
wall.
Like,
It doesn't even matter.
I'm focused right
Yeah.
now. Like I'm about to beat you guys. Like
And he did.
that's what he had. That's the face he had when
Mhm.
he was trying to talk to him, and it's just like you can see it right there. There's no focus.
Yeah,
No
it's
focus
not in
at
the
all.
right place. Definitely.
Speaking of no focus, I hate to talk about Terrence Ross. We're not going to start with him. We're going to talk about the Raptors and how they're going to struggle possibly with Jonas Valanciunas, who's out. We just found out for 6 weeks. They had Bismack Biyombo, who we love defensively, one of the best defensive bigs. A pretty good rim defender. But they're going to struggle to score. We've seen that since he's been out. And we saw that before he was
We
out.
saw it today. We saw it
It's
today.
gonna be
8 points in the third quarter, and we almost lost the game basically.
A lot of hero ball and ISOs.
We at point in time the Sixers brought it to within 6. So I mean, like, the scoring is going to be an issue.
It's gonna be a huge drop off. You're losing 12 to 15 points right there from JV. You're losing
Boards.
starters defense. You're losing starters boards as well too.
Exactly.
And now you insert Biyombo in the starting lineup, which means that Scola, who I love by the way, I thought was a great pickup for the Raptors, solid pickup. He's gonna have to bear more of the offensive load, which is gonna wear him down. You know what I mean? And I think Scola has been playing effectively because he hasn't been like he's in the main cog on offense. You know what I mean? He's clearly the fourth option, maybe even the fifth in the starting lineup in most situations. Whereas now he's gonna have to bear that load.
He's going to have to labor on defense too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
He's
then
gonna have to labor on. He's gonna be tired, and then who are you putting in behind him? Like
Miguel,
James
like you're talking
Johnson,
about.
Luke
Yeah,
Carroll,
right? Like, and then you have
Pat
issues.
Patterson, but those guys are not doing much with the minutes that they're given. You know,
Exactly.
I don't know if it's like the coach not putting them in the proper
Positions to
spots
succeed or
for
something.
them to succeed or whatever, but like they're just not producing. And now that JV's out, you know, there's going to be teams now that are going to key in a lot more on Lowry and DeRozan. It's going to make it a lot easier for them to guard them because they don't have to guard a guy like Bismack. They just leave him out there. You know, like, so it's like they're going to be playing 4-on-5 on offense.
It's kind of like when you're when you have an injury as a player, you come back too soon from the injury, and so that injury that you had that had you out for a couple of games, it may not be good or be good enough for you to play, but because you're playing on a leg, for example, that's not 100%, what's going to happen is you're going to have other injuries
because you're overcompensating.
You're overcompensating, and that's what's going to happen to the team. Like,
Exactly.
I hope it doesn't happen, but I can see that because other guys are going to realize, oh, Jonas isn't here, we can step up and take the load. They're going to try and do too much, and they may put themselves in a situation where they're going to jack shots that they shouldn't, or possibly get injured because they're playing more minutes, have to play even harder than they're already playing. Like it's going to be bad news in Toronto, man. It's not going to be too good, man.
I mean, there's a chance of it being bad news, but there's also a chance that guys can step up. You know, like guys like Pat Patterson, he can, finally get it together. You know, James Johnson can, get some more minutes, do what he was doing last season.
Possibly run more small ball scenarios.
Yeah, maybe when we do play small ball, we'll get more, points or defensively we'll be a lot better with better mobility.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily that, it's going to be bad, we could.
A lot of things have to go right.
A lot of things got to go our way.
There are some guys too, like maybe Anthony Bennett, who since the Knicks game hasn't seen a minute.
Yeah,
it would be nice to see a guy like him come up and do something. It would be
mentally. Anthony Bennett is my guy.
Yeah, I like him. I like him too.
I'm pulling for him. I want him to I want him to do well, but mentally, I just don't think he's ready. I don't think he's ready, mentally, when he checks in, I don't
not focused.
He's not fully focused, or I don't know if it's just playing with Toronto and just having the pressure and just knowing that, he has to basically play for his career.
Yeah, you might not get another deal.
You might not get another deal,
He's
so
definitely not getting another, not in the NBA if he does.
So it's that. I think that's playing a big factor on his performance.
And to spend some time with him. They might need to send him to the D League for
just so he can play.
Good stretch, just a good stretch. Just keep him going.
Do like what Corey Joseph did. Ask to go to the D League just so he can play, and get in the rhythm, and stuff like that. Not just to improve what I see with the motion.
Just to keep the motor running.
Keep the motor running and keep playing. That may be an option that he maybe want to look at.
Some options type.
They're running out of options because, like you said, especially with JD going down, look at Scola. Scola signed for I think maybe $3 million or something. Where would they be without him? They already struggle to score as it is.
I for sure, I've always liked Scola's game. He's a beast, but I did not expect him to be getting
another year older. Another year older.
I didn't even know he can shoot like that.
I had no idea either. And to be honest with you, I don't know about you guys, but it looks like he's in the best shape of his life.
Yeah, he seems rejuvenated.
Yeah, he seems like he's
his muscle tone is.
Well, they were talking about how he's
benches 65. You never would have thought that.
Bismack on that team, and he can bench more than Bismack.
Yeah, Bismack was a good bench to fly to the Golden, But Scola was definitely a great pickup, but I don't think he's not the guy that you want to rely on.
Yeah, he shouldn't be doing what he's doing.
But that just shows the kind of state that the Raptors are in.
Exactly.
And speaking of state, we're going to talk about Golden State and the incredible run that they've been on when we come back. They got another win today to make it 15-0 when we return on the block.
I want to beat them just as bad as you. Off to Devin Come on! Let's get a stop! Make it stop! Yeah!
Welcome back to On the Block. We're going to talk about Golden State, guys. Today, they made history. They were the first team to go 15-0. They're knocking on Michael Jordan's 96 Chicago Bulls. 13-point win against the Nuggets.
That door open.
Yeah.
And that's the question. Do you guys think that this team can eclipse those 72 wins or at least tie it?
If they stay healthy, I think they break it. For sure. They just got to stay healthy. That's the only thing.
What's the ceiling? How many wins can they go? Don talked about 82 before.
I was saying 82-0.
The way they're playing though,
the way they're playing, they can hit 82-0. But I can say they can get at least 75. I think.
That's crazy
I'm
that we're
saying- I'm
talking
saying,
about
like,
75.
I know.
I'm gonna say it's too early to say that they could meet
The crown them?
MJ's record. Like we were talking before, they still got to go through Cleveland. They still got to go through San Antonio. I want to see how they play against those two teams first before I make that adjustment.
Those two,
but
they
that's
only
what we said. Those are the
only
only-
play the Cavs twice.
Yeah,
And they play San Antonio maybe three
max,
times.
yeah.
So that's 5. Let's say they lose all those games. That's 5 losses. Who else is gonna beat them?
And they've
They
already
played the Clippers
slapped on
twice,
us.
but
Yeah, they smacked every other team.
To be honest,
Houston
I
looks
think
like
the
a
first team to give them their L is going to be a team that we don't expect.
Well, like we said, Brooklyn, how
Yeah.
Brook Lopez missed that layup to win the game. The Raptors came close. They got
Because the thing is, every team is playing
their
them.
max effort.
Yeah, their best because they want to end the streak.
But the Warriors,
The Warriors, they're coming into it.
Men amongst boys.
Yeah,
Like, it's
because
just-
they're coming into it it's like, okay,
Whatever.
we want to win
Yeah,
too.
of course we do.
Like, we
We're
want to keep
champions.
the streak alive.
Yeah,
we want to go as long as possible.
It's a beautiful thing to
Because
watch.
they're saying we're addicted to winning now.
Yeah,
Like, that's
yeah.
what they're saying. They want to win.
And they're tuned in.
Yeah, and they're tuned. They're
Yeah.
locked.
Yeah.
Every game, they're
Yeah.
locked.
Yeah.
I was
So
just
it's like,
saying. I was just saying, I was listening to a radio show, I think it was CBS, they were talking about potential losses for Golden State. And they ended up getting them all the way to Christmas Day. They said one of the tougher games up until Christmas is when Golden State comes here. They said it might be a test for them because the Raptors played them tight.
yeah.
And that's in, I think, 2 weeks. Right? But then they'll have a lot of division
But
games.
see-
They'll play the Lakers. They're going to play Denver again. Like,
Yeah, I watched that like Raptors game like through and through, and they were missing a lot of shots. You know what I mean? The
Yeah,
thing is, like,
Golden
Well, you're not
State,
going to make
like,
you're not going to make shots every game either.
You're
So
not
Yeah,
gonna
but
make-
they were
make shots.
they were missing shots where it's like
They normally hit.
They normally
And the
hit.
thing is,
Like,
like,
it happened a
Golden
lot.
State, like, whereas other teams who have shooters that rely on their shooters, when their shooters get taken out of the game, they have a higher chance of losing naturally, right? But whereas Golden State, you take their shooters out of the game, but their shooters can score in other ways. Or, for example,
The bench drop
if you
off,
take
there's
the
not.
bench drop off. But when you
not-
go to
it's
your
no
bench,
drop
there
off.
is no drop off. Like, you're like,
I know.
it's unbelievable. Whereas Steph Curry, if he's not hitting his shot, then he's going to take you inside the 3-point line. He may hit you with a couple of layups, but he's putting other guys in position to score, and they're all ready to go. Harrison Barnes is going off. Harrison Barnes is going on. And Klay
Iguodala,
Thompson's having kind of a rough year.
Klay Thompson is having a rough year.
But
You
whenever
don't
somebody
even,
gets taken out, he
notice
slips
it.
up. You don't notice exactly.
You
Like,
don't even notice
they're a
it.
scary, scary
They're
team.
scary
when you have
team.
Festus Ezeli coming off the bench and he's doing just as good, if not better, than Bogut,
Yeah.
he's your bench center.
Yeah.
Center, like,
they're
you got Livingston who can run the point.
We
They
talked
got
about
huge
Livingston
chip on their
enough
shoulder,
times.
too. So a lot of people were dogging. A lot of people were saying they were lucky. A lot of people were saying they weren't.
And
as
it's fueling the
skilled as
fire.
Oh yeah. Those people should don't poke the bear. And they poked the bear.
And
You guys won the championship? You should have been like, congratulations,
Yeah.
you guys won. Leave it at
Leave it
that.
at that.
But they said, oh, you guys won without love and
And I
hurting.
to tell you the truth, the team that really, like, it was the Clippers who really started everything
Yeah, it
with
was.
that.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that's why
They
they took that
pissed ever
loss
since.
so bad.
They got
Because
stomped. They were talking.
they were
bags.
talking so much,
Yeah.
like, ish.
The Golden State's like,
And
oh, you wanna get
they
down
were
like
up
that?
23.
Yeah.
And
On their
these
own
guys
court.
on their own court,
Yeah.
and they came back and beat them.
Yeah.
And they were like laughing. Like,
That was
you know, like, so it's like
I
that's
can't
like the
even
most
think of a
embarrassing
word.
thing.
Yeah, I
like,
can't-
that's the most
embarrassing
embarrassing
is, for
thing.
me is like so mild.
Yeah.
Like how that game ended was
It's
unbelievable.
so embarrassing. Like,
Remember when
it's
emasculating.
Yeah,
yeah,
emasculating.
exactly. As a player,
Yeah.
as a
You're
player,
kind of like
like,
curling up in a ball.
you
You're
know?
like,
They're all in like the fetal position.
Yeah,
Like,
like, we didn't say that.
I'm
no,
sorry.
like basically, what are you guys gonna say now?
Well, you know what Blake Griffin said after the game? He pretty much said it's not even a rivalry anymore because we can't win.
Yeah.
He said, like, we're not winning these games.
Yeah, exactly.
It's-
And he's
He
right.
said, he even said they're the better team. He's
That's
like,
kind of
Right,
sad,
like,
man. That's kind of
when your
it's
leader's
true,
saying
it's
The
true.
that.
Warriors
It's true.
brought them to that level where
Yeah.
it's like you gotta respect us now. Like, you know, you guys
Wow.
can't talk to us like
So
that anymore.
the
And
Warriors
that's
have
what it
beaten you
is.
so bad
Yeah,
that
it's
you've now
turned
mentally
it
beaten
Yeah,
yourself. Like, that's-
exactly. Where it's like they're probably you
Demoralizing.
don't think that you can beat them
Yo, the
anymore.
Golden State Warriors, like, these guys must be reading The Art of War by, like, Sun Tzu or something. Because they're, like, cause, like, it's like psychological warfare now.
Yeah.
Like, we're killing you before we even show up to your arena, we've already beaten you.
Yeah, they instill the fear inside the opponent.
What was
Exactly.
Chris Paul, like, 7 for 7 in the first? Like, Chris Paul, I haven't seen Chris Paul play like that
He's still
in
going
a little
off, yeah.
while. and Chris Paul gave you his all. They were
I
playing
know,
good,
like,
and you
it wasn't
still
enough.
got
you still didn't win. Like, that's insane.
It's fine. I shouldn't be laughing, but it's really comical.
It's-
That's gotta
It's
test your
insane.
confidence when you put your best effort.
Yeah, like you put in your
Maybe
best
the best point
effort,
guard in the
and
league
yo,
is-
they woke
Their
up for
leader
this.
say we're just
Yo,
like,
they woke up for that game.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
They were ready.
And then they went right back to bed when it was done.
Yeah.
It's like, this is a dream.
Wow. It's
Unbelievable.
All right, enough Golden State. I think we can all agree that they're gonna come. Final answer: they're gonna pass the 72 or tie it.
I'm gonna say you tied. I'm just gonna say.
Okay,
Yeah.
72.
No,
Make a
yeah, I
number.
think I do pass. it.
What's the number? Drop a number on.
I'm saying I'm gonna go with
82?
74. I'm gonna go with 74.
Wow.
I'm gonna go with
74.
74.
You know what? I'm gonna say 71. I said they come one game up short, even though it was. I don't know. I said
It's gonna be really
League and
interesting to
injury.
see how it shakes out.
It's
Yeah,
gonna be
I'm gonna
crazy.
see how it shakes out.
And also,
Yeah.
if they rest guys towards the end of the year too, maybe
Yeah.
right with the playoffs coming.
I don't think so. The thing is, because you know how they came out and said, "Yo, we want that record that they just got today."
Yeah.
They said we want it, and I think if they're in a position where they can beat the Jordan
They're gonna
record
go for it,
or
yeah,
pass
they-
it,
yeah.
go for it.
Yeah.
They're not gonna rest no one.
Because
They're
they're still not playing like as sharply as they can.
Yeah.
Curry's still being kind of
They-
loose with the ball. They're
exactly.
turning it over.
And-
Like
and
there's still
they're-
things that they can tighten up. And if they
Yeah.
tighten those things up, they're definitely beating.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I still
like,
think though Golden State have been on an incredible run, but we talked about Kyrie Irving before. I think
I
if
know.
Kyrie's back and Love, I think that'll go 7 in the finals.
But-
no matter how good of a season Golden State has.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
100%. Like I'm not
I
taking
mean-
anything away from Golden State, but yes, if Cleveland had
You run into
No,
either the
I'm-
Spurs in the
I'm
West.
saying it
or-
right now. If Cleveland is healthy,
yeah,
they're winning.
Yeah.
And
It's
that's
not,
says
even, it's
enough.
not even. It's not
But
even.
yeah,
like
that's a
they're
big
winning.
if. Cleveland hasn't been
Yeah,
healthy. The
they
players that
haven't
get
been
injured on
healthy.
Cleveland, they haven't been healthy
Yeah.
players for any long stretch of time. Kyrie's always been hot.
Love.
Love as
Yeah.
well too. You know, and
All right, let's. Speaking of injuries, our man Kobe Bryant. We've talked about this before. Kobe came back for, I want to say it's his 19th season, and
20th.
20th.
I think it's 20th. Yeah.
and it's been a tough goal for him.
Yeah,
We're
probably
huge Kobe fans.
Yeah.
We respect his game,
Have to be.
and it's been very tough for us.
Uh,
You respect his game though.
I respect his game,
Yeah.
yes, but I'm not a huge fan at all. Just because, like, you know, the series with the Sixers, I'm not just some guy.
Oh, okay.
Step over.
You know, he just beat our team. He beat my team, and like, I obviously never got a chance to get a title.
Hey,
like
I'm
that,
a
so.
Toronto guy, and he Mike
You know?
Tyson. Though. I'm
That's another thing too. I'm a Toronto guy. He 81 though, so like, Kobe's not a guy that I like.
But Kobe's definitely
But I
not taking anything
respect
away from
him.
him. He's the last of the dying breed. You'll never see another
yeah,
Kobe.
yeah,
You'll
yeah,
never see
yeah.
another Kobe like this
Never see a
again.
guy like that.
And as sad as it is, this season, this is his farewell tour. I really feel like Kobe should
I
play.
think it is.
Kobe should be playing on the East Coast trip. He should play every East Coast stadium once, rest every other game, and play in every other stadium around the league one more time. Just for all
the
his
Derek
fans.
Jeter farewell.
Exactly,
Yeah.
it's his farewell tour because he like it's sad. I don't want to see him playing it. To be honest, with you.
Yeah.
I hope
Like we said 2
because
years
nobody
ago.
can come back. Like
Yeah.
Kobe could come back.
Mm.
Nobody who has the mental strength that Kobe has. So anybody who has a
back,
chance
yeah.
to come back and actually rehabilitate and become like
It would be him.
a player, it would be him.
Mm.
But we're not seeing that.
And that just
We're
shows
not
you how
seeing
serious
that.
his injuries have
Yeah, I
been.
know.
Because he's
Yeah.
had every injury in the book the last couple of years.
Yes.
And the
It's
thing
Achilles
is,
and
and you just
rotator.
look at it like 2 years from now, 2 years ago,
He was doing
he
pretty
was
good.
doing
Beast
Yeah.
man.
stuff.
Yeah, 2 years ago he was.
And,
And then
like,
last year to start off for a little bit he was all right. Then he had an
and
injury.
then now it's just like you look at him now and it's like,
It's hard to
man,
Father time.
I was like, man, Kobe. I was like, yo, Kobe's gonna do something this year.
I said that.
I
He's
said
gonna
that
do
too.
something.
Because
And
you can't count out Kobe.
Yeah.
It's like the Spurs. It's like the Spurs. You keep saying, "Oh, they're done, they're done," and they
As
keep
long as
coming
they
back.
get into the playoffs, the Spurs are a legitimate threat.
Kobe, no matter what injury, like he's gonna come
He'll
back.
come back, but
Let's
it just
just-
doesn't look that way.
doesn't look
He still
that
has
way.
little tiny glimpses
Little,
of things that
it's
he's
just
little,
little,
like you know, like hey, I'm still Kobe. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like
It's
so
very
sad.
slim,
It's like
like,
that
it's
old
sad.
family dog.
It's
You're like,
sad.
yo, man, you need to take him back and shoot him, man.
Yeah,
you really do.
man.
Like, I know you love him. Like, yo, I love him, man. Like, I love him. That's my dog.
God rest his soul.
God rest his
Like,
soul,
he
bro.
put in his
Like,
time.
it hurts me to see you
Yeah.
in this state. You know
And the
what I
thing
mean?
is, I have a lot of like Laker fans. Shout out to Hot Rod. He's a Kobe guy.
Yeah.
and he's just like
Like,
man,
breaking his heart,
it's
man.
Breaking his
Breaking his
heart, man. He can't watch, and he's just like, man, he's got to put him up.
He's standing at the
man.
back of the shed with that rifle, getting ready to pull that
Oh my
trigger.
gosh! And like, I would, out of all guys, I would never hear him. Like, it would never. I never think I'll hear him say it. And he's just like, man, Kobe needs to hang him up. Man.
Exactly. See, like it's so heartbreaking as a true basketball fan because luckily for us, like the generation that I was in, you know what I mean. Like I started watching basketball like early '90s to mid '90s. So Kobe was the guy that I saw. You know what I mean. I saw the tail end of Jordan, and then you saw Kobe was like the resurgence, the new wave. Yeah. And there's been a lot of great players. There's people that you could arguably say are better than Kobe all around players. You know what I mean? But you'll never see another Kobe, man. You'll never see. I don't think you'll ever see another Iverson.
You'll never see another Iverson.
Like these are like last of dying breed, and it's just so sad. Honestly, I'm gonna go to that game when he comes to Toronto and hope that
we just hope that he even plays and that he's on the plane. We talked about this before about how Kobe. We talked about guys like Tracy McGrady, and there was someone else that I can't think of right now. And Kobe wasn't as talented as Tracy McGrady. I think people that know basketball know that. But
Or
Vince Carter was the other one who's more talented. But Kobe put in that work. And he talked about when he was a kid with his dad playing in Italy. He's the guy that would not leave the gym. And in his documentary, he said, you can't be that good of a friend. You can't be that mom, the son to your mom. And you can't be that brother. You can't party with your friends. Because you sacrifice. And guys these days, like some guys on the Raptors who we won't mention, and guys all over the league in all sports, they don't put in the work. They want to play video games, be in the club, and that's why Kobe will always have my respect.
And it goes back to what you were saying about DeAndre Jordan. You have all the reason to improve your game.
Exactly.
Every single year, as long as I've been watching basketball, every single year, Kobe's improved something in his game.
Exactly.
Every single season. He's come back and added something new to his game or fine-tuned something. Every single one. And that's why it's so hard to see what's happening right now with him. Because you're like, I feel like Kobe's the blueprint for these new age players. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you got a talent. Like, you got in the league because you can jump out of the gym and you can stroke a three. But now there's a lot of other things that you can't. Don't just rest on your laurels and say, okay, I can shoot and I can jump out of the gym.
Exactly.
Kobe worked on everything. Everything. And it's just, man.
And like, he would literally do things like.
He's a good defender.
Yeah, exactly. He would literally do things like lock himself in the gym. Like, literally. In the documentary, he mentioned it. Like, I would lock myself in the gym and I would shoot all night long.
And it paid off. And to be honest with you, I really feel like a lot of people say that, is he hindering the Lakers by coming back? Yo, man, he deserves that. That 2 year, $40 million or whatever, he deserves that, man. He gave his life. He's not gonna be walking right now. He's like 50-something because of what playing right now.
He left his soul on the court.
Exactly. Like he deserves that, and I really feel like Kobe would hate this, but I feel like in every city that he travels on his farewell tour, like you need to let Kobe come up the court, and you guys don't even defend him. Just let him hit that shot, man. Just give him 5 minutes. Like this is so sad, and this goes back to I know this is so bad. This goes back to the whole old Yeller theory, man. Like his time, man. It's his time to go. Like you gotta take him out to the back of the shed and.
Like I think he's gonna have like that Jordan thing where like All-Star game, he's probably gonna start, and like
All-Star game in Toronto.
In Toronto, it's probably gonna be his last All-Star, and like that's probably how it's gonna roll. Just like how you saw how Jordan did it, the same thing.
But even Jordan in his farewell tour, we were talking about this not long ago. Jordan on the Wizards was still better than Kobe.
Yeah. I mean, we're not talking about play. We're not talking about play. I'm talking about like guys like farewell type of thing. Because Jordan was still doing his thing.
Yeah,
he was pinning guys on the backboard like I said in his last year.
Like I mean, I think like his first game when he.
Is Kobe dunk this year?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I can't confirm that, but I think.
I can't recall seeing it.
I think he dunked. Actually, I can't.
See, the last thing I want to see is Kobe going up for a dunk and getting blocked by the rim. Like, see, like that.
No, I don't think
that happened to Vince in preseason.
That happened to Vince.
Like, I don't want to see. Like, it just. I don't want to see.
Go on your horse and ride away.
And I feel like he's gonna be chipping away at his record that he's put up. You know what I mean? Like his averages,
points per game,
his points per game, his rebounds per game. Playing now, like he's got to put those numbers. He's gonna be chucking those shots.
And that's the reason. In his mind. No, because Kobe once said, "I'm not going to be in this league to average 20 points."
Yeah.
And I think that was like the biggest disrespect to every player that averaged 20 points in the league. But like that's what he said. He's like, "I'm not going to be in this league to average 20 points." Like. So, like, I think this might be, that's why I think this is going to be his last year. Because Kobe, like, if he can't be Kobe, he doesn't want to play.
And I respect that.
Yeah, and like,
so if he can't be Kobe, I don't want to see him play.
Yeah, so
that just shows the bar that he raised and the level that he wants to stay at.
Yeah, like, so I don't think, like
he's not there for the money. He's not there to pick up.
Right now, his stats are being chipped away. I mean, last year he averaged, 14?
Yeah, it's bad.
He's at 16 right now.
Right
He's
now,
checked.
he's
He
at
was shooting
16.
37%.
He's at 16 right now? That's
Yeah,
amazing
but at
for what he's done.
37% though.
37%.
Oh,
like,
okay,
it's
okay.
just
I know
bad.
he wasn't shooting a 3.
Yeah, and he's shooting it 3 at like 20%, I think. Like it's bad.
Honestly, like, he should be talking to his accountant and all of his advisors and trying to get some ownership on the Lakers, man. Like there's times like he needs to be focusing on the next step now, man.
I think he's already done that.
Yeah.
I think he's already
Those calls have
done
been
that.
made.
Yeah,
I think he's
TNT's
been
probably
made
looking to
already.
haul at him
He's
for
a smart guy.
ESPN. He's not a dumb guy, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
he's a smart guy.
Really quickly, let's just talk about the Knicks. We want to talk about how they've been surprising so far. And nobody would have thought that really, but we talked about how Kristaps Porzingis has been a huge bright spot, and we saw him dunk over the entire Raptors team.
Well, he's done that to a lot of teams.
Yeah,
Marcus.
he has a
To
putback every
Aldridge.
single game.
Yeah, he's done that to Aldridge. He did it to someone else. Love.
Yeah, he's
Did it to
he's a
Love.
beast. Honestly, I think this is early, and I'm not gonna. It's hard. We always draw comparisons to players that are in the league that have done something to new players who just came in. Yes, he does. He does look similar to Dirk because he can shoot the 3. You know, he's long. He does the same things. But I think he's got a better skill set coming into the league than Dirk.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Definitely, not scary.
He can do a lot more things than Dirk does
he
right
can
now
even
as a
move.
rookie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he can move.
And he's
better.
learning from like a guy like Melo. He's got a guy
Yeah.
like Phil Jackson. Like
Yeah. He's
it's
gonna
gonna be
be-
scary what this kid could be.
And
Yeah.
what Don said earlier, what we were talking about also was, when has Melo had a player? Who's the best player scorer that Melo's played with? And off the top of my head, at least in New York, I think the best guy was J.R. Smith. In Denver, maybe Kenyon Martin was it? When Kenyon Martin was
Or
still
maybe
all right?
Billups. Maybe Billups.
Billups maybe back then.
Yeah,
right?
but even when Billups came out,
Iverson.
Sorry. Iverson was at the end.
Sorry.
it's amazing.
Iverson.
He did have AI.
He did have it.
Yes,
but then
I
like.
think Jordan was going for somebody that was like relatively in their prime.
Yeah. And they're only together for like a season. I think.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah.
But yeah, in New York, I think although it's early, he might be the
Kristaps.
best. He might be the best
Yeah.
option he's had in New York.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah. I mean,
And apparently
Knicks
this kid's a
fans were
sponge.
pretty mad about that when he
Real
got
mad.
drafted, but can't
Real
be mad
mad.
now.
can't be
Real-
mad. I mean,
real
I don't
mad.
think Phil Jackson was expecting.
No.
What,
We know for
what
sure the
he's
Knicks fans
doing.
weren't expecting it.
Oh, for
based
sure.
Based on the reaction
boomers, yeah.
during
No.
draft night. And I don't
They all love him now.
Because they had a Euro. They had a Euro
Yeah.
that Raptors fans weren't too pleased about. And
Yeah.
Andrea Bargnani,
Yeah.
who didn't
No
live up to
comment.
expectations.
Okay,
Exactly.
okay.
We'll just leave that. Let that one die.
We'll just take
Yeah.
the
But
pick.
Kristaps is
Shoots the 3, rebounds, he dunks over
he
rebounds.
puts back. Like when you see Euro guys do this stuff,
And
like,
he
he's
puts
got that
it
like
back
New
and
York
he's like-
street
he's
style
like,
play. Yeah, like
Yo.
he's got that New York
Yeah,
Rucker Park
man.
swag. Like he's got
I'm
that
like-
European.
he's
Like
not
oh,
fazed by
like
these
Yeah,
guys.
don't-
he doesn't back
No,
down.
Yeah,
man.
how was he? 19, 20? He's
Yeah,
like, he's a
19,
child.
yeah,
He's like
man.
a child playing against men. Being like,
Yeah.
yo, I don't care if you're
I
a
don't
man. Like, I don't
care.
care. I'm gonna bang with you guys. Like,
I'm gonna dunk on
Oh,
you.
and he's
I'm gonna
doing
shoot
it.
it in your face.
And the league is on watch
I
right
haven't
now.
wanted to watch a Knicks game in so long, but now that this kid's been stepping
Yeah.
up, I want to watch Knicks
I'm
games.
going and I'll
I don't even care about
recap.
Melo. Like, I
Yeah.
care more about Kristaps than I do
like,
anything
I'm
else.
just like, wow, man. I mean,
Exciting.
we all talked about like how
Like,
Melo
dude,
was
yeah.
gonna beast because everyone's saying that he's not that guy anymore.
Yeah.
But like, man, that Chris,
Yeah. Something
I
else.
don't really say his
Something
name,
else.
but
Yeah.
he
We'll
is
learn. We're going to be hearing it a lot. We're going to be
something,
saying it a lot more as the
I
season
know
carries
Melo
on.
is really happy. Like,
Oh,
I mean, it
for
takes
sure.
a load off of him.
Yeah.
He was
doesn't
pissed to start the year. I remember
Yeah.
there was talk about how angry he was with that pick, but can't be mad now.
Nope.
Yeah, I mean,
If you are mad, slide him over here to Toronto. I'll slide you Terrence Ross in a heartbeat in a couple more days. But the video's not going there either.
I think we're gonna have to save that for another episode. We're gonna wrap this one up. We're gonna keep you guys up to date on the Golden State watch. I said 71. What, Ron? What did you say? We gotta remember this.
74.
All right, we'll keep you guys up
I
to
want
date
to
on
change it to
Golden
73
State.
though.
Okay, we're on the record for 73.
73.
One game over. We'll catch you next time on the block.
Peace.